Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends on how to trick the AI again. We just did this a few days ago. We used Basilisk, Bushi, and Torture Helm because they could all come back to life. We were using Strong Affinity. That way, if the enemy came to attack them, they could do weak hits on them. Weak hits do not crit. They do not apply debuffs. It works out really well. Plus, those three could come back to life on a 3-turn cooldown. Basilisk on a 4-turn cooldown. He applies block damage, and then we have Torture Helm that comes back to life every 3 turns with 50% HP, and Bushi would come back to life every 3 turns with a unkillable buff on himself. It worked out really well, but then I want to do it with some tanks, some real tanks that have low HP and really high defense. So I had to go out there and find some tanks that worked well for the dungeons we're going to run. We're going to do Fire Knight right after this. You're going to be really surprised how well Sandlash Survivor does in there with 23,000 HP. It's pretty insane. Then we have Sepulchre Sentinel here. We had to lower her HP even lower so the enemy would attack her, and only her. You're going to see that our whole team is going to have decreased defense on them. Some weak ones are Cold Hearts, and they're not going to be attacked. They will attack Sepulchre Sentinel instead. It's pretty amazing. Let's get right into it. That was the hardest thing for me at first to find. I wanted to find somebody with low HP but really high defense that also had good utility for these dungeons. Now, you know Sepulchre, look at this. So they're all still going after our Apothecary. This was me testing it. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to go take away some more artifacts from Sepulchre, bring her HP down even lower so that we can trick the AI into attacking the Strong Affinity. Plus, she's a tank champion. She gives us increased defense, block debuffs. That way, when we get to the dragon, she helps out, and decreased attack on that A1. And you probably already have her leveled to 60. I tried to bring in some champions that you might be using in other areas of the game. What we're going to do is take off this helm. We're just going to straight up take off the helm because it's too much HP on this champion. I looked at all these pieces to try to take off, trim the fat, get all that HP off. Anything that has HP percentage, try to get rid of it. It's actually kind of hard to do, but it depends on your gear. So your gear might not be all these 6 stars, all these 5 stars that I have. So you can bring her HP down easy, keep her defense up, and you're good to go. But look at this. The Terrell just hit the Cold Heart. This will happen in every single dungeon you do. I don't care what's going on. The Terrells here will always attack somebody else besides who you want them to attack. The Liches will do the same thing in Fire Knight, which you're going to see in a minute. But the Fire Knight run is pretty sweet. Here we go. Here's the big money shot right here. You're going to see it. We're going to get an AoE from Tay. Decreased defense on the Cold Hearts, but not on Sepulchre. And then look at who the Hordens attack. Watch this. Pretty impressive since his Cold Heart gets low on life. But she didn't get under maybe... Look, boom, boom. They both have decreased defense. Look at that. Pretty amazing. What is she, like at 23? Okay, now we're going to switch it up. We're going to go to some other champions that you might have. I know not everybody has Cold Hearts out there. We're going to run through, now that we know it's going to work, now that we know her HP is down low enough, we're going to be able to, I think hers is at 26,000 actually. I had to bring the Sandlash Survivor down to 23,000. You're going to see why in a minute. I think she's at 26,000. The rest of my people are just over 30. If they're a DPSer like my 2 Cold Hearts that you saw, they were both at around 32,000 HP. And look at this. There's the Terrell, always going after somebody random. It doesn't matter. There's no debuffs on these people. The Terrell just does what he wants to do, just like the Liches do what they want to do in the Fire Knight. And we'll see that in a minute. Let's get over to this wave 2, and you're going to see the exact same thing happen that we had with the Cold Hearts happen with this crew as well. And they're going to go after our Sepulchre every single time. It is really amazing. We just had to bring that HP down low enough that it would work out for us. Here we go. They're going after her. Look at those decreased defenses up on even the Frozen Banshee there that they could have gone after, and they did not go after her. Always after our Sepulchre, getting those weak hits, not putting up those debuffs when those weak hits happen, not doing a lot of damage because she has high defense. There's that Terrell. Go after whoever you want, Terrell. Don't worry about it. But he doesn't hit hard, so we don't have to worry about him. The ones we have to worry about are Old Man Crossbow and then also the 2 Hordens. Like, those are the main ones we have to worry about. And they're not even scratching Sepulchre. They're not doing anything to her. She is the Strong Affinity. They're not even, and we don't need Provoke Artifacts on. We don't need any kind of gear like that. They're going after her, and then once we get to the dragon, you know how it is. We have 2 poisoners here. Frozen Banshee could do it by herself as long as she has lifesteal gear on and War Master. Kale could really do it by himself 90% of the time as long as he has reasonable speed with lifesteal gear and War Master as well to heal back. and then they can always duo it. I've done plenty of videos with Apothecary and Kale doing it, just the two of them beating the dragon easily. Same thing with Apothecary and Frozen Banshee. But look, we got decreased attack here sometimes from Sepulcher, and then also she's going to put up increased defense and block debuffs. So she's bringing in more than just being your tank to get you there. She's bringing a lot. So playing her in this fashion, I think, is incredible. Same thing that's going to happen with Sandlast Survivor. Believe me, I think you're really going to enjoy it. But I couldn't believe it here when I watched that Coldheart and the other ones with maybe 30% HP gone. With a decreased defense debuff up, Sepulcher did not have one, and they went straight for Sepulcher every time. And she's the strong affinity. That's what blows my mind about it, except for the Tyrell. And of course, the Lich. The Liches do not comply as well. Here we are with Sandlast Survivor. She's at 27,000 HP. 27,000 HP. We've got her. This time I put her in a Frost set. So it's fun. Whenever they get attacked, they have a chance to freeze the enemy. Hold on. We're going to jump forward. There we go. So we had to rewind. We're back to Sandlast Survivor. She has too much HP here. We need to get her down just a little bit more. So I think I took her down to anything that has HP percentage, get rid of it. 23,000 now, but she does have 6,000 defense. She does have 6,000 defense, 23,000 HP, and I brought my Apothecary up to 64 instead of 53 because I was trying to shrug off those Liches if I could. But I can't shrug off the Liches just like you can't change the Tyrell from doing what he wants to do. It doesn't matter. But I will tell you, this whole first entire wave will always attack Sandlast Survivor. The second wave, everybody in that second wave will always attack her except for the Lich. But the Liches don't hit hard. They're just like Tyrell. They don't hit hard at all. You don't need to worry about them. And with that Frost set on, they're all attacking her. She's going to freeze some people. Now, those guys on the two right and the left, the far right and left, they do random. So they'll hit the main target, which is Sandlast Survivor, and then the other one will be a random shot to somebody. But everybody here is all targeting her. And with this much defense, or just with, even if she had 4,500 defense, she would be fine. She's going to take weak hits nonstop. She's not going to get debuffs applied. All 5 of those will attack her. Now here again, the other 3 will. The big ones, the arrow in the middle that we're worried about, the 2 side ones as well that do the stuns, they will attack her. But these Liches, look, Apothecary. Now watch the next one. Coldheart. They don't know what's up. There we go. So Errol attacked our Sandlast Survivor. And the greatest thing about Sandlast Survivor is that she brings us the utility we need and the multi-hit we need when we get to the boss as well. So it's not just somebody just to get us through. I didn't pick just champions that were, at first I did. At first I was looking at champions that just had low HP and high defense. But then I saw these 2 and I was like, you know what? These 2 are perfect for these dungeons. So let's make them work out for them. And they did. They were perfect. Not only do we get this, we're going to make it so that the boss hits us. When we get to the boss, we're not going to take down the shield. We want that AoE hit so we can see what Sandlast Survivor is going to do for us. Plus, on her A2, she's extending our increased speed buff. She increases buff on that A2. I mean, Sandlast Survivor. But I'm saying here, and then look at this. She makes it so we don't die. We wouldn't have died most times anyways. My Coldhearts can take it. But they counterattack back from counterattack masteries. We brought the shield down, and now we go to town on the boss. So that's what she brings to the party. Increasing our speed buff, doing the 2 hits on her A1, and then making sure with her passive that we don't die with that first big hit that we take from the boss. So if you bring in a slow team like that, and you have counterattack masteries like I do on my Coldhearts, I do on my Apothecary, if I take 25% of my max HP, I will get a 50% chance to counterattack back. And that's, if all 3 of those get to hit, Apothecary and 2 Coldhearts, that's 11 hits. The shield is down, my friends, and then we just take over just like you see right here, and we are done. That's the video. That's it. I think it's amazing. These, 23,000 HP on the Sandlast Survivor. But you saw how this works very, very well. And I hope this can help you out. I hope this can make it easier for you to get through these runs. What I want to do, but I just don't want to gut a lot of my people, I want to take my speed down to just 1 over what the waves are, like 101 speed, whatever the speeds are for them. For these 2 Coldhearts, for the Stag Knight, but I'd have to really change up some of these champions that I use on a daily basis. And then my Apothecary is fine. He was at like I think on this run he was at 170 something speed. So pretty low. Not a 300 speed Apothecary, but it didn't matter because when we got to the boss, we had that safety net. The boss hits us, we get a chance to counterattack. We counterattack, we bring it down, and we keep going. plus we get that increased speed up. She makes it so that it goes from 2 turns to 3 turns or whatever it's at the time. She extends it, right? So I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to trick the AI to make it through there, and those two help out. Sepulchre Sentinel, Sandlast Survivor help you out at the boss. Please let me know your comments below. Appreciate you all for watching. I will see you all in a video soon. Boop, boop, boop.